What if I told you that the coldest, driest, and most remote place on Earth hides one of the most mysterious histories known to humankind? Antarctica, a frozen desert at the bottom of the world, where temperatures plunge to -80 degrees Celsius. No permanent human population, no sovereign nation. Yet, it holds the secrets of Earth's past, present, and even its future. But, how did it come to be? Why is it the only continent without an indigenous people? And what do ancient maps, forgotten explorers, and even modern science reveal about this enigmatic landmass? In this video, we'll unravel the entire history of Antarctica from its ancient geological birth, through heroic explorations and global treaties, all the way to the cutting-edge scientific research that might just hold the key to humanity's survival. Let's begin. Our story starts over 500 million years ago, during a time when Antarctica looked nothing like the icy wasteland we know today. Back then, it was part of a massive supercontinent called Gondwana, lush, forested land teeming with life. Over the next millions of years, shifting tectonic plates caused Gondwana to split apart. Antarctica drifted south, gradually becoming isolated at the bottom of the world. But here's the twist. Antarctica wasn't always covered in ice. Fossil evidence shows that about 100 million years ago, during the age of dinosaurs, Antarctica was a warm, temperate region with forests, rivers, and even dinosaurs roaming its land. Imagine lush forests, lakes, and rivers flowing through what we now think of as a barren, icy desert. But everything changed about 34 million years ago, when Earth's climate began to cool. Glaciers formed, oceans froze, and the Antarctica we recognize today was born. Now, let's fast forward to human history. For centuries, Antarctica was a mystery. Ancient civilizations believed in the existence of a massive, southern landmass called Terra Australis Incognita, the unknown southern land. But the question is, why? One of the most intriguing clues comes from the Piri Reis map, drawn by a Turkish admiral in 1513. This map shows a landmass resembling Antarctica but without ice. Could ancient civilizations have known about Antarctica long before its official discovery? And if so, how? In the late 18th century, European explorers began venturing further south, driven by curiosity and the desire for new trade routes. James Cook, the famous British explorer, was one of the first to cross the Antarctic Circle in 1773. Though Cook never actually saw the continent itself, he wrote, "I make bold to declare that the world will derive no benefit from it." Little did he know how wrong he would be. In the early 19th century, sealing and whaling ships ventured into Antarctic waters, and in 1820, Fabian Gottlieb von Bellingshausen, a Russian explorer, became one of the first humans to officially sight the Antarctic continent. Over the next decades, explorers from Britain, Norway, and the United States braved the harsh conditions, mapping the coastlines and laying the groundwork for future expeditions. The late 19th and early 20th centuries ushered in what is now known as the heroic age of Antarctic exploration. This was a time of incredible bravery and, at times, unimaginable tragedy. The goal was simple yet daunting: to conquer the frozen continent and reach the South Pole. One of the earliest expeditions was led by Karsten Borchgrevink in 1898, who became the first to overwinter on the Antarctic continent. But it was Ernest Shackleton, Robert Falcon Scott, and Roald Amundsen who would become the names forever etched into Antarctic history. Let's take a closer look at these legendary explorers. First, let's talk about Ernest Shackleton. His name is synonymous with Antarctic exploration and survival against all odds. In 1914, Shackleton embarked on the Endurance expedition, aiming to cross Antarctica from coast to coast. But things didn't go as planned. The Endurance got trapped in ice, leaving Shackleton and his crew stranded for months in one of the harshest environments on Earth. Supplies ran low, and hope dwindled. But Shackleton's leadership shined through. He made the incredible decision to embark on an 800-mile journey across the open ocean in a lifeboat, eventually reaching a whaling station and rescuing his entire crew without a single life lost. To this day, Shackleton's leadership is studied in business schools as an example of resilience, courage, and the power of keeping a team together in the face of adversity. Next, there's Robert Falcon Scott, a British naval officer with a dream of planting the Union Jack at the South Pole. In 1911, Scott and his team set out on a grueling expedition across Antarctica, but little did they know, they were in a race. At the same time, Roald Amundsen, a Norwegian explorer, was also making his way to the South Pole. While Scott relied on manpower and ponies, Amundsen used sled dogs, a far more efficient means of travel. On December 14, 1911, Amundsen became the first person to reach the South Pole. When Scott arrived 33 days later, he was devastated to find a Norwegian flag already planted there. But the tragedy didn't end there. On their return journey, Scott and his entire team perished due to exhaustion, starvation, and extreme cold. His final journal entry, found beside his frozen body, read, "We took risks, we knew we took them, things have come out against us, and therefore we have no cause for complaint." Scott's story became a symbol of heroism and sacrifice in the face of impossible odds. And finally, there's Roald Amundsen. His story is one of preparation and precision. While Scott struggled, Amundsen's meticulous planning paid off. He chose the fastest route, used dogs expertly, and carried the right supplies. His success wasn't just luck, it was the result of careful strategy. But Amundsen wasn't done with Antarctica. He later became the first person to fly over the South Pole in 1926, further cementing his place in history. Fast forward to the mid-20th century. By now, many countries were laying claim to parts of Antarctica, but tensions were rising. Would Antarctica become a battleground for nations vying for territory and resources? Thankfully, the world chose a different path. In 1959, the Antarctic Treaty was signed by 12 countries, including the United States and the Soviet Union. The treaty declared that Antarctica would be a demilitarized zone, used only for peaceful purposes, dedicated to scientific research. This treaty remains one of the most remarkable examples of international cooperation. Today, 54 countries have signed the treaty, agreeing to protect Antarctica's environment and promote global scientific collaboration. Today, Antarctica is a hub for scientific research. Scientists from all over the world study its ice cores, which hold clues about Earth's climate history, going back hundreds of thousands of years. These studies are crucial for understanding climate change and predicting future environmental shifts. But Antarctica isn't just about science. Its unique wildlife, including emperor penguins, seals, and albatrosses, also captures the imagination of people worldwide. And let's not forget the tourism boom. Despite its harsh conditions, thousands of tourists visit Antarctica every year, experiencing firsthand the beauty and fragility of this icy wonderland. As climate change accelerates, Antarctica's ice sheets are melting at alarming rates. If these ice sheets collapse, sea levels could rise by over 60 meters, threatening coastal cities around the world. This makes Antarctica not just a place of historical curiosity but a critical player in humanity's future survival. What happens in Antarctica won't stay in Antarctica. It will impact every single one of us, from its ancient forests and dinosaurs to its heroic explorers and groundbreaking treaties. Antarctica's story is one of resilience, discovery, and cooperation, but it's also a story that isn't finished yet. As we stand on the brink of major environmental changes, Antarctica continues to teach us lessons about our planet's past and its future. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time. No story about Antarctica is complete without addressing the mysteries that surround it. From ancient maps to modern conspiracies, Antarctica has sparked countless theories that blur the line between fact and fiction. Let's explore some of the most intriguing mysteries of the southern continent. One of the biggest mysteries comes from the Piri Reis map, drawn in 1513 by a Turkish admiral. The map shows the coast of South America and Africa with surprising accuracy for its time. But here's what has baffled historians for centuries. The map also depicts a landmass that looks strikingly similar to Antarctica without its ice cover. Why is this so strange? Because Antarctica has been covered in ice for millions of years. So how could a map from the 16th century show its true shape? Some researchers speculate that ancient civilizations might have explored Antarctica long before modern explorers, or that they had access to knowledge passed down from a lost civilization. Is it possible that humans knew about Antarctica thousands of years ago? During World War II, the Nazis launched an Antarctic expedition in 1938, claiming a portion of the continent they named New Swabia. But conspiracy theorists believe the Nazis had a more sinister motive. Some claim they built secret, underground bases in Antarctica to hide advanced technology or even UFOs. These microbial organisms have adapted to survive in complete isolation, in freezing temperatures, without sunlight. Some scientists speculate that studying Lake Vostok could offer clues about life on other planets like Europa, one of Jupiter's moons, which has a similar ice-covered ocean. But there's more. Some researchers believe the lake might hide ancient secrets, including the remnants of a prehistoric ecosystem or even ruins of a lost civilization. Could Antarctica be hiding more than just ice? In 2006, NASA satellites detected a mysterious gravitational anomaly in Wilkes Land, a region of East Antarctica. What's causing this anomaly? Some scientists believe it's the result of a massive asteroid impact, possibly one of the largest in Earth's history. The asteroid, estimated to be around 300 miles wide, would have hit Earth over 250 million years ago. If true, this impact could have triggered the Permian-Triassic extinction event, which wiped out 70% of life on Earth. Could this hidden crater hold the key to understanding one of Earth's greatest mass extinctions? And then there's the hollow Earth theory. According to this theory, Earth is not solid, but hollow, and hidden beneath its surface are vast underground cities and advanced civilizations. One of the supposed entrances to this underground world, you guessed it, Antarctica, because Antarctica has been covered in ice for millions of years. So how could a map from the 16th century show its true shape? Some researchers speculate that ancient civilizations might have explored Antarctica long before modern explorers, or that they had access to knowledge passed down from a lost civilization. Is it possible that humans knew about Antarctica thousands of years ago? Another mystery involves Nazi Germany. During World War II, the Nazis launched an Antarctic expedition in 1938, claiming a portion of the continent they named New Swabia. But conspiracy theorists believe the Nazis had a more sinister motive. Some claim they built secret, underground bases in Antarctica to hide advanced technology or even UFOs, while historians agree that there's no solid evidence of a Nazi base in Antarctica. The theory continues to capture imaginations, adding fuel to the fire. In 1946, the US launched Operation High Jump, a massive military operation in Antarctica, led by Admiral Richard Byrd. Officially, it was a mission to establish a research base. The conspiracy theorists suggest it was a covert operation to investigate Nazi activity or extraterrestrial encounters. One of the most fascinating mysteries of Antarctica lies beneath its ice sheet, a hidden lake that remained untouched for millions of years. It's called Lake Vostok, and it sits for 1,000 meters, 13,000 feet beneath the ice. In the 1990s, Russian scientists began drilling through the ice to reach the lake. But what they discovered shocked the scientific community. Lake Vostok is home to unknown forms of life. Some theorists believe that Admiral Richard Byrd encountered this hidden world during his Antarctic expeditions. Byrd allegedly described seeing lush green landscapes and mysterious flying craft during a secret mission. Of course, mainstream science dismisses the hollow Earth theory as science fiction, but it remains one of the most enduring Antarctic mysteries. Over the years, there have been numerous reports of strange lights and unidentified flying objects over Antarctica. Some theorists believe that Antarctica is home to alien bases or that ancient extraterrestrial civilizations once lived there. Adding to the mystery, in 2018, Google Earth users spotted what looked like a pyramid-shaped structure emerging from the ice. While scientists explain these formations as natural geological features, some believe they're evidence of an ancient, advanced civilization or even alien architecture. Could Antarctica be hiding the greatest secrets of our universe? While the mysteries of Antarctica are fascinating, its greatest challenge today is climate change. Antarctica's ice sheets are melting at alarming rates, contributing to rising sea levels. If the West Antarctic ice sheet were to collapse, it could trigger a catastrophic rise in sea levels, flooding coastal cities around the world. Antarctica is often called the canary in the coal mine for climate change. What happens here will affect all of us. The question is, will humanity act in time to save it? From prehistoric forests to ancient mysteries, heroic explorers to modern scientific breakthroughs, Antarctica's story is one of wonder, resilience, and warning. This icy continent at the edge of the world holds secrets we've only just begun to uncover. And as we continue to study its past and present, we might just learn the most important lesson of all: how to protect our future. Despite its harsh conditions, Antarctica is teeming with life. From penguins braving brutal winds to whales gliding through icy waters, This frozen continent supports an ecosystem that has adapted to one of the most extreme environments on Earth. But life here isn't just about survival, it's a delicate balance that has been shaped by millions of years of evolution. Let's start with the emperor penguin, the largest and most iconic penguin species on the planet. These remarkable birds are perfectly adapted to life in Antarctica. They endure temperatures as low as -60°C and survive through months of complete darkness during the Antarctic winter. One of the most heartwarming and heartbreaking scenes in nature is the emperor penguin's breeding cycle. During the brutal winter, male penguins huddle together to protect their eggs, balancing them on their feet and covering them with a flap of skin to keep them warm. Meanwhile, the females embark on a journey of survival, traveling up to 100 kilometers across the ice to find food. When they return months later, the eggs hatch, and the next generation of penguins begins its life in one of the harshest environments on Earth. Antarctica is also home to several species of seals, each playing a unique role in the ecosystem. The Weddell seal is a master diver, capable of holding its breath for over an hour and diving to depths of 600 meters in search of fish. On the other hand, the leopard seal is one of Antarctica's top predators. With a powerful jaw and razor-sharp teeth, it feeds on penguins, fish, and even other seals. But despite their fearsome reputation, seals are also critical to the balance of life in Antarctica's oceans, ensuring that fish populations remain healthy and stable. And then there are the whales. The southern ocean around Antarctica is a feeding ground for some of the largest creatures on Earth, including humpback whales, blue whales, and orcas. Each year, these whales migrate thousands of kilometers to feast on krill, tiny shrimp-like creatures that form the base of Antarctica's food chain. But it's not just their size that's impressive. Orcas, also known as killer whales, display remarkable intelligence and complex social structures. They hunt in coordinated packs, using sophisticated strategies to catch seals, penguins, and even fish under the ice. These whales aren't just visitors, they're a key part of Antarctica's ecosystem, helping to regulate the delicate balance of marine life in the Southern Ocean. While penguins are the most famous birds of Antarctica, they're not the only ones. Albatrosses, with their enormous wingspans, are masters of the open ocean, capable of flying thousands of kilometers without ever touching land. Then there's the skua, a fearless scavenger known for stealing penguin eggs and chicks. While their behavior might seem harsh, it's all part of the natural balance in Antarctica's ecosystem. And let's not forget the snow petrel, one of the hardiest birds in the world, thriving in the coldest and harshest conditions on Earth. While Antarctica's surface seems desolate, beneath the ice lies a hidden world. Scientists have discovered microbial life thriving in subglacial lakes and deep-sea ecosystems that were once thought to be lifeless. In recent years, researchers found cold water corals, sponges, and even giant sea spiders living in Antarctica's icy waters. These discoveries have reshaped our understanding of life on Earth and raised new questions about the possibility of life in extreme environments on other planets. As much as Antarctica has remained untouched by human civilization, it's not immune to human impact. Today, scientific research stations dot the continent, hosting hundreds of researchers from around the world. While their work is critical for understanding climate change, the presence of humans also comes with risks. Pollution from fuel and waste disturbance to wildlife, potential introduction of non-native species. In recent years, efforts have been made to minimize human impact, including stricter environmental guidelines and sustainable tourism practices. But the biggest threat to Antarctica and the entire planet is still climate change. Antarctica's story isn't just about the past, it's about the future of our planet. As ice sheets melt and sea levels rise, the choices we make today will determine whether Antarctica remains a symbol of resilience or a warning of what's to come. The question is, will we listen to its message? Antarctica is more than just a frozen continent at the edge of the world. It's a time capsule of Earth's history, a battleground for human exploration, and a critical player in our planet's future. Whether we're inspired by its heroic explorers, fascinated by its mysteries, or driven by the urgent need to address climate change, one thing is clear: Antarctica matters. Antarctica is often described as the world's largest natural laboratory. For decades, scientists have braved its harsh environment to make groundbreaking discoveries that have reshaped our understanding of Earth's climate, history, and even the universe itself. But what exactly have they found beneath the ice? Let's dive into some of the most remarkable scientific discoveries made in Antarctica. One of the most important scientific breakthroughs in Antarctica is the extraction of ice core samples. These cores are like time capsules, preserving a record of Earth's atmosphere and climate for the past 800,000 years. By studying the air bubbles trapped in ancient ice, scientists can determine the levels of carbon dioxide, methane, and other greenhouse gases at different points in Earth's history. What they've found is both fascinating and alarming. The data shows that the levels of CO2 in the atmosphere today are higher than they've been at any point in the past 800,000 years. This research provides irrefutable evidence that human activity is driving climate change, and it's a warning we can't afford to ignore. Another major discovery made in Antarctica was the detection of the ozone hole in the 1980s. Scientists working at the British Antarctic Survey noticed that the ozone layer, the protective shield that blocks harmful ultraviolet radiation, was thinning dramatically over Antarctica. The cause? Chlorofluorocarbon CFCs, chemicals commonly used in refrigeration, air conditioning, and aerosol sprays. The discovery led to global action. In 1987, world leaders signed the Montreal Protocol, an international treaty to phase out CFCs. And guess what? It worked. The ozone hole over Antarctica has been slowly healing, showing that when humanity works together, we can solve global environmental issues. It's a powerful reminder that science can drive real change. Antarctica's vast, white landscape makes it one of the best places on Earth to find meteorites. Why? Because when a dark rock lands on the bright, white ice, it's easy to spot. Over the years, scientists have found tens of thousands of meteorites in Antarctica. One of the most famous discoveries was Al-80 4001, a meteorite from Mars that some scientists believe contains fossilized evidence of ancient Martian life. While this claim remains controversial, the discovery sparked a renewed interest in the search for life beyond Earth. Antarctica's meteorites continue to provide clues about the formation of our solar system and the possibility of life on other planets. Beneath Antarctica's thick ice sheets lie hidden landscapes that are only now being mapped by scientists using radar and satellite technology. One of the most surprising discoveries is the Gamburtsev mountain range, a mountain range the size of the Alps, completely buried under thousands of meters of ice. Scientists have also discovered subglacial lakes, including the massive Lake Vostok, which we mentioned earlier. These lakes have remained sealed off from the surface for millions of years, raising questions about whether they could harbor unique forms of life. Could these hidden lakes be home to microbial ecosystems unlike anything we've ever seen? Antarctica's extreme environment makes it an ideal location to test technology for space missions. The conditions here, frigid temperatures, isolation, and harsh winds, are similar to what astronauts might face on Mars or Europa, one of Jupiter's moons. In fact, scientists have set up space analog stations in Antarctica to simulate life on Mars. Studying how humans can survive and thrive in Antarctica could provide valuable insights into future space exploration missions. Amidst a world divided by borders and conflicts, Antarctica stands as a symbol of peaceful cooperation. In 1959, the Antarctic Treaty was signed by 12 countries, including the US, the Soviet Union, and the UK. The treaty established that Antarctica would be used for peaceful purposes only. Military activities and nuclear testing were prohibited. Scientific research and international cooperation would be encouraged. Today, the treaty has been signed by 54 countries, making Antarctica the only continent in the world dedicated entirely to science and peace. It's a testament to what humanity can achieve when we put aside our differences and work together for the greater good. It has long captured the imagination of writers and explorers, from Jules Verne's classic novel The Adventures of Captain Hatteras to modern films like The Thing. Antarctica is often portrayed as a mysterious, otherworldly place, but it's not just fiction. It has inspired countless documentaries, including the acclaimed Encounters at the End of the World by Werner Herzog, which explores the lives of scientists and adventurers living on the frozen continent. Antarctica has made an impact, with bands like Metallica performing a concert on the continent, becoming one of the few to do so. Antarctica is unique in the global landscape not because of what it has, but because of what it doesn't have. Unlike every other continent, Antarctica does not have countries or permanent residents. Its sovereignty is governed by international law, and no nation can claim ownership of any part of the continent. Yet, its geopolitical importance cannot be underestimated. Despite being a land of ice and snow, Antarctica is a strategic location that plays a crucial role in global science, resources, and even military strategy. Before the Antarctic Treaty was signed in 1959, several countries made territorial claims over different parts of the continent. These nations included the UK, New Zealand, Australia, Argentina, Chile, and others. However, the Antarctic Treaty suspended these claims and established that Antarctica would be used for scientific purposes only. Importantly, no country could assert ownership over any part of the continent, effectively turning it into a zone of international cooperation. The treaty also bans military activity, except for peaceful scientific research. It has proven to be one of the most successful international agreements in history, maintaining Antarctica as a neutral zone for nearly 60 years. While Antarctica may be inhospitable, it is not devoid of valuable resources. Beneath the ice, there are vast deposits of minerals, including coal, iron ore, copper, and potentially even oil. But extraction is forbidden under the Protocol on Environmental Protection to the Antarctic Treaty, signed in 1991, which prohibits any commercial mining until at least 2048. Despite this, the question of how to manage Antarctica's resources will become more pressing in the future, especially as climate change melts its ice sheets and reveals new opportunities for exploitation. Countries with territorial claims in Antarctica may one day want to claim these resources for themselves, leading to complex debates about who controls what and how to balance economic interests with environmental protection. Antarctica is not only a scientific frontier, it's also a geopolitical asset when it comes to understanding and combating climate change. The Antarctic ice sheets are the world's largest freshwater reserves and hold critical information about past climate patterns. Monitoring Antarctica's ice loss and glacial retreat is essential for predicting global sea level rise. Countries around the world, from the United States to China, are keenly interested in how climate change impacts the Antarctic environment because it will have global repercussions. Thus, Antarctica's future will be deeply intertwined with international diplomacy, as nations work together or sometimes struggle to protect this precious and vulnerable continent. While Antarctica has long been the realm of scientists and explorers, the last few decades have seen the rise of a new kind of visitor: tourists. Each year, thousands of travelers embark on expeditions to Antarctica to witness its otherworldly beauty and experience unparalleled wilderness. But with tourism on the rise, the fragile environment of Antarctica is facing new pressures. How can we balance the desire to witness this pristine world with the need to protect it? Antarctica is becoming one of the most exclusive destinations on Earth, attracting tourists from all over the world, especially the luxury cruise market. Tourists can explore the continent in a variety of ways. Cruise ships offering tour along the Antarctic Peninsula, camping on the continent's icy shores, polar expeditions that allow travelers to trek across glaciers or take part in scientific research. Tourism offers a unique opportunity to raise awareness about the importance of Antarctica's environmental conservation and the ongoing battle against climate change. However, this influx of visitors also brings challenges. While tourism brings in revenue and awareness, it also poses serious risks to the delicate Antarctic environment. The Antarctic Peninsula is the most accessible part of the continent, and it's becoming increasingly vulnerable to the impact of human activity. Some of the most pressing concerns include pollution, ships releasing waste, oil spills, and non-biodegradable materials polluting the pristine environment. Invasive species. Tourists may unintentionally introduce non-native plants or animals that could disrupt local ecosystems. Wildlife disturbance. Human presence can interfere with penguin breeding, seal hull-outs, and other natural behaviors. As the world grapples with the accelerating effects of climate change, Antarctica stands as both a warning and a call to action. The future of this pristine continent and the future of humanity are intertwined in ways we can no longer ignore. The melting ice sheets and the resulting rising sea levels are just the beginning. Without immediate action, the global climate crisis will intensify, pushing the planet to the brink of irreversible damage. But there is hope. Around the world, nations, organizations, and individuals are stepping up to tackle this global issue. What role does Antarctica play in shaping these solutions? Antarctica is one of the most critical sites for climate research. The data gathered from this frozen land provides essential insights into the past, present, and future of Earth's climate systems. The Antarctic ice cores have already proven invaluable in understanding how atmospheric gases have changed over millennia, directly linking human activity to global warming. But the continent is also a laboratory for studying how ecosystems, wildlife, and human communities might respond to a rapidly changing climate. As global warming accelerates, Antarctica's rapid changes act as a barometer for how the world's ecosystems might be affected. Scientists are using this data to help inform global climate policy and create solutions to curb the worst effects of climate change. One crucial example is the Paris Agreement, an international treaty signed by 195 countries with the goal of limiting global temperature rise. Antarctica's shifting ice and weather patterns have already become central to discussions on how to meet these ambitious goals. The race to build sustainable, renewable energy solutions is at the heart of the fight against climate change, and Antarctica is playing a part in it. Research stations in Antarctica are isolated and reliant on alternative energy sources to power their operations. In a place where traditional infrastructure is nearly impossible, these stations have turned to solar power, wind energy, and geothermal energy to meet their needs. These innovative energy solutions could hold the key to a more sustainable future for the rest of the world. If we can make renewable energy work in the harshest conditions on Earth, there's no reason we can't make it work everywhere. Antarctica is often referred to as a symbol of international cooperation, and it's more important than ever that we continue to work together for the planet's future. The Antarctic Treaty System has kept Antarctica free from conflict for decades, and it stands as a testament to what countries can achieve when they set aside differences and focus on a common goal. This spirit of cooperation must extend beyond the icy continent. The global challenges we face today, climate change, resource depletion, environmental destruction, are not confined to any one nation or region. They are shared threats that require shared solutions. Countries around the world must work together to reduce carbon emissions, invest in sustainable technologies, and protect natural habitats. Antarctica's unique role as a symbol of peaceful collaboration in the face of adversity is more important than ever as we look for solutions to the global climate crisis. Beyond the scientific discoveries, the geopolitical implications, and the environmental challenges, Antarctica holds a deep symbolic power. For generations, it has represented the last great frontier, a place of mystery, exploration, and the unknown. It is a place where the Earth's past meets the future, where the forces of nature are at their most raw and unforgiving. But Antarctica is also a place of hope. Hope for what humanity can achieve when we set aside our differences and unite for a common cause. In a world increasingly defined by division and conflict, Antarctica offers a glimmer of possibility, a model of peaceful cooperation that has stood the test of time. Its fragile ecosystem reminds us of the delicate balance we must strike between progress and preservation, between scientific advancement and sustainability. As climate change accelerates and the challenges ahead grow more daunting, we must look to Antarctica not just for answers, but as a source of inspiration, a reminder that there is still time to protect the planet we call home. In the frozen expanse of Antarctica, the mysteries of our planet and its future are being unlocked. With each passing year, new breakthroughs in scientific research are helping us understand the continent's crucial role in the global climate system, the history of our planet, and even the potential for life beyond Earth. Let's explore some of the most recent advancements in Antarctic research that are challenging what we thought we knew and opening up new frontiers of knowledge. For decades, scientists have been drilling deep into the Antarctic ice sheets, extracting cores that hold the key to understanding Earth's climate history. These cores provide a record of atmospheric conditions going back hundreds of thousands of years, preserving layers of ancient air bubbles that offer a direct glimpse into the Earth's past climate. In recent years, breakthroughs in ice core research have revealed startling insights. CO2 levels during past warm periods were much higher than previously believed. The speed at which ice sheets melt can vary dramatically, with some regions of Antarctica potentially facing more rapid collapse than we thought. New findings suggest that global temperature changes are intricately tied to the behavior of ice sheets, which can have global repercussions on sea levels and climate patterns. With this crucial information, scientists can now make more accurate predictions about future climate change and help global policymakers make informed decisions to prevent catastrophic outcomes. Antarctica is not just a frozen desert, it hides a network of subglacial lakes beneath its ice sheets. These lakes are buried beneath miles of ice, and until recently, their existence was largely a mystery. In a groundbreaking series of explorations, scientists have successfully drilled into some of these lakes, including the Lake Vostok, one of the largest and most well-known subglacial lakes in Antarctica. These lakes have been isolated from the outside world for millions of years, and researchers are now studying the microbial life that may still exist within them. This discovery could hold significant implications for our understanding of life in extreme environments and even offer clues to the possibility of life on other planets, such as Mars or the icy moons of Jupiter and Saturn. By studying the microbes living in these extreme conditions, scientists are learning how life can thrive in highly saline, low-oxygen environments, and how this knowledge could be applied to future space exploration. One of the most alarming breakthroughs in recent Antarctic research is the discovery that Antarctica's ice sheets are melting faster than expected. Satellite data and on-the-ground measurements are showing that the West Antarctic ice sheet, in particular, is experiencing accelerated melting. This has raised concerns about the potential for dramatic sea level rise over the next century. In fact, some recent studies suggest that parts of the West Antarctic ice sheet could be on the brink of an irreversible collapse, triggering a rise in sea levels by up to 3 meters. Researchers are using cutting-edge technology to measure the speed of ice loss, including robotic submarines that explore the ice shelves and new laser systems that precisely measure ice sheet thickness. With these technologies, scientists can model how the warming oceans and changing atmospheric conditions are influencing ice flow and shelf stability. These findings are crucial for understanding the global impact of Antarctica's ice loss on coastal communities worldwide and for developing strategies to mitigate the worst effects. The waters surrounding Antarctica are often overlooked in discussions about the continent, but recent research has shown that the Southern Ocean plays a critical role in regulating the Earth's climate. Studies have revealed that the Southern Ocean absorbs a significant amount of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, acting as a major carbon sink. As the ocean warms due to climate change, its ability to absorb CO2 is weakening, which could lead to even more rapid global warming. Additionally, researchers are studying the marine life that thrives in these cold, nutrient-rich waters, particularly in the Antarctic circumpolar current. The oceans are home to a wealth of species that are highly sensitive to temperature changes, and even minor shifts in ocean temperatures can have profound effects on marine biodiversity. By understanding the interactions between the ocean, ice, and atmosphere, scientists are uncovering new insights into how Antarctica's surrounding waters influence global weather patterns, sea levels, and atmospheric CO2 levels. As the climate warms, Antarctica's wildlife is feeling the impact. While some species are resilient, others are struggling to adapt to the rapidly changing environment. One of the most iconic creatures of Antarctica, the emperor penguin, is now facing the threat of habitat loss as the sea ice they depend on for breeding and feeding continues to recede. A recent study highlighted how emperor penguin colonies have been moving further inland as their traditional breeding sites disappear. Likewise, the Antarctic krill, a vital food source for many marine animals, is being impacted by changing sea ice patterns and ocean temperatures. The krill population is central to the entire Antarctic food web, and disruptions to their numbers could have cascading effects on the entire ecosystem, but it's not all bad news. Researchers are discovering new behaviors and adaptations that help species cope with these changes. Some penguin species are adapting to warmer conditions by shifting their breeding cycles, while others are migrating to new locations in search of better food resources. Understanding these responses is crucial for predicting how Antarctic wildlife will fare in the coming decades. Antarctica, land of ice and snow, a place of extreme cold and isolation. But despite its inhospitable conditions, life thrives here in a way that is nothing short of extraordinary. Beneath the layers of ice, in the freezing waters, and on the windswept shores, Antarctica's wildlife has evolved in remarkable ways to survive one of the harshest environments on the planet. The penguins of Antarctica are among the most iconic and beloved animals in the world, famous for their black and white tuxedos and remarkable adaptability in the cold. But their lives are far from easy. There are several species of penguins that call Antarctica home, including the emperor penguin, Adelie penguin, and chinstrap penguin. Each has adapted to survive in their own unique way. Emperor penguins, the largest of all penguin species, endure the coldest temperatures on Earth. These remarkable birds brave the winter months, often enduring temperatures as low as -60 degrees Celsius -76 degrees Fahrenheit, relying on their thick feathers and a special layer of blubber to insulate them from the cold. To raise their young, they huddle in massive colonies for warmth, while the males take on the responsibility of incubating eggs for 2 months in the dead of winter without food. The Adelie penguins, known for their determination and agility, are excellent swimmers and use the icy waters surrounding the continent to hunt for food. These penguins are most active during the summer months, building their nests from pebbles and forming large, bustling colonies that are often in constant motion. And then there's the chinstrap penguin, whose name comes from the distinctive black line under its chin. These penguins are fast swimmers and are often found in rocky coastal regions, where they build their nests in rocky crevices. But beyond their social behavior and survival strategies, penguins are deeply integrated into the Antarctic ecosystem. Their guano poop provides nutrients for algae and plants, and they are a key food source for predators like seals and killer whales. Antarctica's seals are a diverse group, each with its own fascinating adaptations for life in one of the most extreme environments on Earth. From the leopard seal to the Weddell seal, these animals have mastered the ability to survive in both the freezing waters and on the ice floes. Weddell seals, the most common seal species in Antarctica, spend much of their time underwater, diving to depths of over 600 meters to catch fish and squid. These seals have remarkably clear eyes that help them see in the dark, ice-covered waters, and their ability to stay submerged for extended periods makes them well equipped to hunt in the depths. Weddell seals also have unique adaptations for breathing through small holes in the ice, allowing them to access air while underwater. The leopard seal, a formidable predator, is perhaps one of the most feared animals in the Antarctic waters. With its long, sharp teeth and powerful jaws, the leopard seal hunts penguins and other seals with ease. Despite its fearsome reputation, it is also an essential part of the food web, keeping the penguin population in check. Crab-eater seals, despite their name, are not eating crabs. Instead, they consume krill, tiny shrimp-like creatures that thrive in the cold waters. These seals are incredibly well adapted to filter feed, with special teeth that help them strain their food from the water. The raw seal, one of the more elusive species, prefers to stay away from human activity and is often seen in the remote corners of the continent. These seals have thick layers of blubber and dense fur, providing them with the insulation they need to survive the cold. Beneath the icy waters, the smallest creatures often play the most significant role in the ecosystem. Antarctic krill, tiny shrimp-like animals, are the foundation of the Antarctic food web. These creatures feed on phytoplankton, which thrive in the nutrient-rich waters around Antarctica, and in turn, they become the primary source of food for many larger species, including whales, penguins, and seals. In recent years, scientists have observed a shift in krill populations due to warming oceans and decreasing sea ice. As the ice retreats, it's disrupting the krill's habitat and the entire food chain that depends on them. The changes in krill populations could have devastating consequences for the entire Antarctic ecosystem. Despite these challenges, krill remain a vital part of life in the frozen waters. Their massive swarms can contain millions, if not billions, of individuals, and they are crucial to supporting a healthy marine ecosystem. The blue whales, the largest animals ever known to have existed, are a key predator of krill, consuming up to 4 tons of krill per day during feeding season. Antarctica's fish species have evolved to survive in the frigid waters that rarely rise above -2 degrees Celsius. These fish have adapted in extraordinary ways to prevent their bodies from freezing. One of the most remarkable adaptations is the production of antifreeze proteins. These proteins prevent the fish's blood and bodily fluids from freezing, allowing them to survive in waters that would be deadly to other species. The Antarctic toothfish, a species of large predatory fish, is an apex predator in the Southern Ocean. It feeds on smaller fish, krill, and squid, and can grow up to 2 meters in length. The Chanidae family, known as icefish, also has special adaptations, including colorless blood because it lacks hemoglobin that allows it to thrive in the icy depths. Despite these incredible adaptations, Antarctic fish populations are under threat from overfishing and climate change. Changes in sea temperature and ocean acidification are affecting the delicate balance of life in the Southern Ocean. Antarctica is also home to a variety of seabirds that have adapted to the extreme conditions of the frozen continent. The South Polar skua is a fierce predator that targets penguin eggs and chicks, while also scavenging around research stations. Known for their aggressive behavior, these birds are an essential part of the Antarctic ecosystem, keeping populations in balance. Petrel small seabirds can be found gliding effortlessly over the icy waters of Antarctica. The snow petrel, with its pure white feathers, is a particularly striking species. Often seen hunting near the coast and feeding on the krill and fish that populate the waters. Imagine a place where temperatures can drop to -60 degrees Celsius, -76 degrees Fahrenheit. The landscape is dominated by snow and ice, and the sun doesn't rise for months. Now, imagine trying to conduct scientific research in such an environment. How do scientists gather data, stay safe, and survive the brutal conditions? The answer lies in technology, innovative, life-saving, and groundbreaking tools that allow humans to unlock the secrets of the frozen continent. The first challenge in Antarctica is establishing a base of operations. Research stations serve as scientific hubs where scientists and engineers live for months, even years, at a time. These stations are equipped with everything from laboratories to dormitories and kitchens, but they are designed with one goal in mind: survival in the harshest conditions. Take McMurdo Station, the largest research station in Antarctica, which is operated by the United States. The station sits on a coast and provides researchers with the resources they need to study climate change, biology, glaciology, and astronomy. These stations are equipped with advanced insulation, heating systems, and reinforced structures to withstand the constant threat of freezing temperatures and high winds. Other stations, like Princess Elizabeth Antarctica, use solar panels and wind turbines to power their operations, helping to reduce the environmental footprint in one of the most pristine ecosystems on Earth. These sustainable energy solutions are key to ensuring that Antarctica's research efforts are environmentally responsible. One of the most fascinating technological innovations used in Antarctica is ice-penetrating radar. With miles of ice covering Antarctica, scientists often have no idea what lies beneath the surface. To solve this, they rely on radar systems that can penetrate the thick ice and provide detailed maps of the subglacial environment. By emitting radio waves, these systems can detect how the ice layers shift, the depth of the ice, and even hidden lakes that have been sealed off for millions of years. This technology is crucial in understanding how the ice sheets are behaving, particularly in regions like the West Antarctic ice sheet, where rapid melting could have a significant impact on global sea levels. Subglacial lakes, such as Lake Vostok, are of particular interest, as they may contain ancient microbial life that has been isolated for millions of years. Ice-penetrating radar helps scientists map these hidden bodies of water, which are of immense scientific interest for both climate research and the search for extraterrestrial life. In a land where humans can barely walk due to the freezing temperatures and treacherous terrain, drones have become a vital tool for gathering data. From high-resolution aerial photography to glacier mapping and even monitoring wildlife populations, drones are making research in Antarctica faster, safer, and more efficient. For example, scientists use drones equipped with cameras to track emperor penguins in remote areas of the continent. These drones can fly over colonies, providing data on population sizes, breeding success, and migration patterns, all without disturbing the animals. Drones are also critical for monitoring glaciers and ice shelves, capturing detailed images and data from places that would otherwise be difficult to access. With advanced thermal imaging, they can monitor temperature variations and detect cracks in the ice that might signal imminent collapse or other shifts in the ice sheets. Another game-changing innovation in Antarctic research comes in the form of autonomous vehicles and robots. These machines are designed to operate in the harshest conditions, performing tasks that would be too dangerous or too difficult for humans. For example, robotic rovers are used to explore glaciers and ice shelves, gathering data on ice flow and temperature. These rovers can move across rough terrain, take measurements, and even collect samples of ice and snow for analysis. Their ability to operate autonomously means they can work in conditions where human teams are limited, such as during the winter months when researchers are often isolated. One particularly impressive piece of technology is the autonomous snowmobile. designed to transport equipment and supplies across Antarctica's vast, frozen landscape. These snowmobiles are capable of carrying heavy loads and navigating treacherous terrain, even in blizzards and sub-zero temperatures. When you're dealing with an area as vast as Antarctica, sometimes the best perspective is from above. That's where satellite technology comes in. Satellites are used to monitor ice flow, sea ice extent, and changing weather patterns across the continent. NASA's ISOSat-2 satellite, for example, uses a laser altimeter to measure the height of the ice and map the thickness of Antarctica's ice sheets. This data is crucial for understanding how glaciers and ice shelves are changing, and how these changes could affect global sea levels. Satellites are also key in monitoring sea ice. The extent and thickness of sea ice fluctuate throughout the year, and changes in these patterns can provide valuable information about the climate and the health of ecosystems. Synthetic aperture radar (SAR) is used to capture high-resolution images of ice cover, allowing researchers to track melt patterns and other important phenomena. When you're in Antarctica, survival is never guaranteed, so staying safe is a top priority. Personal protective equipment and survival technology have been designed specifically to withstand the extreme conditions. For example, scientists wear specialized cold weather clothing that includes heated gloves, insulated boots, and multi-layered jackets to protect against frostbite. These clothes use high-tech insulation materials that trap body heat and wick away moisture to keep researchers warm and dry, even in temperatures far below freezing. Additionally, advanced GPS systems and communication technology help ensure that researchers can navigate the landscape safely and remain in constant contact with their teams. In the event of an emergency, satellite phones and emergency beacons ensure that help is never far away. What do Antarctica and space exploration have in common? It may seem like a strange connection at first, the frozen expanse of Earth versus the vast, inhospitable reaches of space. But in fact, these two frontiers share a profound relationship, one that helps scientists unlock the mysteries of both our planet and the universe beyond. From its extreme environments to its role in testing new technologies, Antarctica is not just a remote, frozen continent, it is a testing ground for some of the most ambitious space missions, providing critical insights into space exploration, Mars, and even the search for life beyond Earth. To explore space, you need to prepare for the unknown. And when it comes to harsh, hostile environments, Antarctica is as close to space as you can get. The extreme cold, high-altitude conditions, and unpredictable weather of Antarctica mimic many of the challenges astronauts face when they venture into space. This is why Antarctica has become a key training ground for astronauts and space agencies worldwide. Agencies like NASA, ESA, and others use Antarctica's icy terrain to simulate the harsh conditions astronauts might experience during missions to the Moon, Mars, or even distant planets and moons. For example, astronauts train in isolated, extreme cold to simulate what it will be like to live in space stations and conduct spacewalks. The South Pole has been used to simulate missions to Mars, with researchers creating mock Martian habitats where they live in isolation, cut off from the rest of the world, just like astronauts would be during long-term missions to the Red Planet. One of the most exciting intersections between Antarctica and space exploration is the search for life both on Earth and beyond. In Antarctica, scientists have discovered subglacial lakes, some of which have been isolated from the outside world for millions of years. This is where the connection to space comes into play. Scientists are studying microbial life in subglacial lakes, like Lake Vostok and Lake Whillans, to better understand how life can exist in extreme, isolated environments. The presence of life in these extreme conditions on Earth gives scientists clues about the possibility of life on Mars or under the icy surface of moons like Europa or Enceladus, which have environments that may have once harbored or could still harbor microbial life. The extremophiles microorganisms that can thrive in extreme environments in Antarctica's isolated lakes are helping researchers understand how life could survive in space. In fact, Mars missions like Curiosity and Perseverance have used similar methods to study the soil and atmosphere of Mars for signs of life or prebiotic conditions. Antarctica has long been used as a Mars analog, a place to simulate the Martian landscape and understand how humans might live and work on the Red Planet. The Mars Society and NASA have conducted several simulated missions in Antarctica, where researchers wear spacesuits, live in self-sustaining habitats, and conduct experiments in the most extreme conditions. One of the most well-known simulations is HI-SEA's Hawaii Space Exploration Analog and Simulation, which used Antarctica's dry valleys, often called the Mars on Earth, to simulate the kinds of terrain astronauts will encounter on Mars. The dry, barren landscape, with its lack of vegetation and harsh conditions, mirrors Mars's surface, providing a perfect backdrop for testing space technologies and conducting geological studies. In these analog missions, astronauts and scientists conduct geological surveys, experiment with new technologies like rovers, drones, and life support systems, and try to understand the challenges of living in such isolated and extreme conditions. These missions provide valuable data on everything from shelter construction to food sustainability, all vital knowledge for long-duration space missions. Beyond its role as a training ground and analog for space exploration, Antarctica also plays a pivotal role in astronomy and space science. Its remote location, far from light pollution, provides one of the clearest views of the night sky. This is why scientists have set up some of the most advanced telescopes in the world in Antarctica, including the South Pole Telescope and the IceCube Neutrino Observatory. These telescopes are used to study cosmic radiation, black holes, and the origins of the universe, as well as the elusive neutrinos, tiny particles that travel at the speed of light. IceCube, for instance, is buried in the Antarctic ice sheet and detects high-energy neutrinos from deep space, helping scientists understand phenomena like supernovae and gamma-ray bursts, some of the most energetic events in the universe. By observing the universe from Antarctica's icy vantage point, scientists are gaining a better understanding of the cosmos, as well as new insights into space weather, dark matter, and the origins of life. In a sense, the frozen wilderness of Antarctica serves as a cosmic laboratory, linking the study of Earth to the study of the universe. Antarctica is also an essential testing ground for space technology. Many technologies designed for space missions are first tested in the extreme conditions of Antarctica, where they are subjected to some of the most unforgiving environments on Earth. For example, life support systems designed for Mars habitats are tested in Antarctic stations to ensure they will work in closed-loop environments where astronauts will live and work for extended periods. Similarly, solar panels and energy systems used on space missions are tested in Antarctica to simulate limited sunlight conditions and harsh winters, much like what would be experienced on the Moon or Mars. The robotic technologies used for exploring distant planets and moons are also tested in Antarctica. Rovers, designed for planetary exploration, are tested on Antarctica's rocky terrain to ensure they can navigate alien landscapes. These tests provide vital data on how these machines will perform in environments far from Earth. And that's a wrap on our journey through the extraordinary connection between Antarctica and space exploration. From training astronauts to uncovering the secrets of the universe, this frozen frontier plays a pivotal role in advancing humanity's reach into the cosmos. If you enjoy this exploration, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more incredible stories. Thanks for watching Unfolded Timelines, and until next time.